In this video, I'm going to talk about why chasing after your wife or any woman is usually a bad idea. You see, most men look at their marriages as this place to make him feel better. He's always drawing from the relationship. He's either withdrawing from it either emotionally by complaining about his work or other things in his life, yet offering no solutions to those problems, or he's looking at his wife for this pressure relief valve through sex and intimacy and not using it as a mechanism for connection. Because he's chasing after his wife and all her validation all the time, making himself feel better, in other words, the validation meaning if she likes him, if she's showing him she's interested in him, then he feels okay. He feels stable. He feels secure. But whenever there's a situation where she's upset or angry, he feels like she's pulling away from him. And so he starts feeling destabilized and insecure with himself. And he thinks that the relationship's going to fall apart. Now, this is usually some sort of a trauma response based on the way he was brought up in his relationship with his mother, or he got with somebody who was a narcissist and was really abusing him emotionally. But when he goes after this woman and he's pulling on her, all it does is make her want to go away even further. Especially if you're in a situation where your wife says, hey, I love you, but I don't love you anymore, and I need a little bit of space. The first thing he does is like, no, we need to talk about this. Let's talk about this. I don't want you leaving me. That's usually the first thing that happens, and what means that he didn't listen to her. She said she wanted space. She said she needs some time to think, and yet he's grabbing all over her and trying to keep her on board. Why? Because he can't stand the feeling of being alone, of being isolated, of being abandoned. And anytime I hear a guy say, my wife abandoned me, I'm like, well, she's not your mom. She can't abandon you. You're a grown-ass man. How can you be abandoned? Can't you stand on your own 2 feet? She might have left your ass, but that don't mean she abandoned you. She abandoned me and the kids. What, is she taking care of you? Why is she taking care of you? Why can't you take care of yourself? And so I know that when a guy uses terms like, hey, she abandoned me, I know for a fact that he's got this problem with validation. He's looking for her to make him feel better. He's looking for her to emotionally regulate him. And while that can be the case in some instances, if it becomes more of the pattern, she's going to be turned off because you can't be your mommy and your lover at the same time. There's something that's almost incestuous with that energy. Why would she want to be your mommy and your lover? But most women who care about their husbands will go in there and try to give you that mommy energy. Why? Because she loves you, she cares about you, and she wants to help you out. But the problem is she stays in that place for too long. She doesn't want to have sex with him anymore. And that's another validation thing that he's looking for. Not only does he want his mommy or his wife to give him this love and affection and I will love you no matter what energy, on the other hand, he wants her to have sex with him to show him that he's worthy, that he's more manly, that he has won at life because he can have sex with her. And so while she's sitting in this place of mommy energy, she doesn't want to have sex with him. And then he has a temper tantrum about it. You never want sex. Why don't you ever want to have sex? When really, what he's asking for is, hey, I want to feel like you want me. But she can't want you while she's being a mom to you. And even she might not understand what's going on. I've seen so many women be confused by this. She's like, I just don't understand why I'm not attracted to my husband. I think there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm just not interested in sex. And then she gets into a situation where another guy's flirting with her and her sex turns on rapidly like that. And she's like, oh, well, maybe I just don't love my husband because I'm attracted to this guy. And yes, women get just as confused about attraction and love as guys do. Lust and love are not the same thing. But as the guy, when you're looking for your wife for that intimacy, that sense of connectedness, that sense of, hey, I want to feel that you want me, and she's not doing it, over time, he'll get upset. You know, she'll have a headache, she'll be tired, she's like, I don't want to do this because she's not feeling it. And he's like, well, what's going on? Why do the planets have to align before you even be involved with or even want to have sex? And she's like, I don't get it either. I'm just not in the mood. Maybe if you tried snuggling with me for a little longer. Maybe if you tried giving me a massage or something and just doting on me more. And really, she doesn't need that at all. What she needs is for you to stop pulling on her emotionally. She needs for you to stop trying to get sex as a pressure relief valve, using her as a jack-off tool. That's not what she's for. She's there to connect with you. She's not there to make you feel better. She's not there to be this rock of the family. That's your job. If you can't do that, if you can't get over your own emotional state, how are you going to lead her out of her emotional state? If you're too afraid to go into your own emotions, how can you expect to feel into hers? How can you expect to feel what's going on with her? And that's the kicker. This is what she's looking for from you. So when she says, I'm not in the mood, you should already know that. You should already be able to feel that. But you can't, because you're so caught up in the pressure of sex that you can't let it go. That this sex is a need. And you feel like, I have needs. I'm a man. That's what I need. I just need sex. No, you're a glutton for validation, and your biology is responding to it, thinking that if I have sex, I'm okay as a person, and I'm worthy of love, and I'm not going to be abandoned. That's really what you're trying to find. You're trying to find mommy energy through your wife, through sexual contact. And you can imagine nobody really wants to feel that way. Why would she want to feel that way? Why would she want to feel like your mom who's having sex with you? That's disgusting. But this is the energy you're giving off, and she's confused by this because it doesn't make any sense. Looking at you as her husband, and at the same time, she's not feeling attracted to you, yet at the same time, she's had sex with you many times. So what's the problem here? And this is why she's confused. But this whole situation can be unraveled if you just stop putting pressure on her. You stop chasing after her. Stop looking for validation. Stop looking for her to tell you you're a good boy. Stop looking for her to have sex with you to make you feel better for yourself. If you just stop the fucking pressure and leave her alone, oftentimes it'll build back up within her and she'll approach you. But most guys don't have enough emotional wherewithal to last 6 hours, let alone 2 or 3 weeks that it might take. Hell, most men that I work with, they can't go 24 hours without a woman texting them back. And already they're blowing up her phone. Hey, where are you at? What are you doing? What's going on? Although he's not asking, hey, where are you at? What are you doing? What's going on? What he's asking is, do you still like me? Do you still like me? Do you still like me? Respond so I know that you still want to talk to me. Respond so you know that you still want to talk to me. That's what these guys are doing with this texting game, and that's the problem. He's constantly looking for her to respond to him to validate the fact that she still likes him. You know, a powerful man, a guy who values himself, doesn't need his woman to show him that she likes him all the time. He just assumes the inevitable. He assumes that she likes him. Why wouldn't she? If he's a guy who has some value, if he's a guy who knows what he wants in life, and he's a guy that actually moves forward and actually has some success, he knows that she wants to be with him. Why does he have to keep pulling that from her? Why does he need her to make him feel better about himself? That's why powerful men don't usually do this. Because they're already getting that validation from other sources, like some business that they're building or some way they're serving God or some other kind of purpose. They don't need their wife to pull on. And think about it. How much power are you going to have in business if you need your woman you've got to pull on all the time? You're not. Because every time something goes wrong with her, you get emotionally destabilized. And how are you even going to think about business when all you're thinking about is your anxiety about what she's doing and where she's going and who she's doing it with? It's just not going to happen. You're going to get so destabilized, you're going to get so worried and wrapped up about what she's doing that you're just going to not be able to keep your mind on the task at hand. How are you going to build big shit if all your mind is constantly on this woman who may or may not be interested in you? If you're in a sexless marriage, if you're trying to figure out how to get your wife to love you again, if you're trying to figure out how to get her into you, like so into you that she's always going after you for sex, like putting it on the calendar type of sex so that you don't forget, go ahead and text me at this number below. We'll look into your situation. We'll figure out what's going on. We'll troubleshoot it, and we'll come up with the best solution for you in the quickest time frame possible.